Best interest or perceived best interest? Now, I got into this discussion with a sales trainer who's listened to the podcast and likes it, but disagreed with me. And it was a slight distinction. I should have clarified it in the book. I should have expanded on it because some people immediately debate it. But let me clarify it. Now, there's best interest, like what's in the best interest for a lot of people. Let's say you have a friend who's an addict of some kind. You know the best interest for the person is to stop. And they probably do too. Now, are they going to do it? No, then Brian, your rule doesn't work. I go, wait a second. You know what they're going to do, right? Because everybody who talks to an addict says, just stop that. Now, don't you think that ever crossed their mind? That's the definition of an addict. They continue to do something that is detrimental to their best interest. Now, so then your rule doesn't work, Brian. No, it's their immediate, what they believe is in their best interest at the moment. It changes over time. So we have to consider that. Let's say you're selling to somebody a product that's expensive, but it'll triple their productivity. Now, they can interpret that one of several ways. One is that they only have to work 1/3 of the time, or two, that they could get 3 times the work done. Now, they're going to sell it internally that they can get 3 times the work done, but they're thinking, I only have to work 1/3 of the time. Now, I used to sell a product that did that, but it was like 10x, meaning that it enabled people to make changes in 1/1000th the time of the previous product. Now, what ended up happening is that people would just leave early because they could get all these changes done so fast. And instead of what they used to have to do is stay overnight and work 3 shifts because they'd make a change and then it would take forever to incorporate that change into their software. Now, what is in their best interest? Of course, it is to do what's right for the company, but they sell it in the sense that it's right for the company, but they care about it because it's what's right for them. Let's take another case. Let's say a parent. Now, a parent, let's say their kid needs an organ. And that if they give the organ, they're most likely going to dramatically reduce their lifespan. Let's say a kidney or whatever, just for argument's sake. Now, will they do it? Most likely, most parents would. I would. Does it make sense? Is it in their best interest to do it? In their perception of who they are at that moment. So that's what we have to take into consideration is context, not just primal urges, primal need, primal survival. So it seems like a distinction that's worth talking about because instead of getting in the argument of, we all know what's in their best interest. When we talk to our customers, we know they'd be better off with our product. But they're not doing it because the work of doing it, the administrative grind of making it happen, isn't compelling enough than not doing it. It's like going on a diet. We all know we should eat kale, shakes in the morning, but boy, does that Pop-Tart look good. Doesn't that donut look delicious? How about some of that Starbucks coffee, right? We should have a nice fresh squeezed fruit juice. We all know that. We all know what's good for us. This is a whole problem with the diet industry is we keep trying to sell people stuff that will eliminate the pain but get the result. That immediate pain is, although in their best interest to eat what's right for them, they can't get through the pain of what's right for them right now. And this is why the people who sell something that's right for people long term is much harder than selling things that are right for them immediately. You go to the airport, what lines are the longest? Is it the health food place or the donut and Cinnabon place, the sugar rush, the bar where they can get the alcohol to calm them down or give them a little energy, a little comfort? That's what they need at the moment. But what do they really need? They really need some nutrition. But people don't think that way. So what's in their best interest is contextual, and it's what they believe is in their best interest, not what we believe is in their best interest. And we got to understand the difference between short-term best interest and long-term best interest. But they will always do what they perceive to be in their best interest. Is that confusing enough? I hope I clarified that. But my point is not to just negate my point because of distinctions. My point is to get you to think about it. And I should have done a much better job in the book talking about it, because it is the number one law of selling, is that people will do what's in they perceive to be in their best interest at that moment. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode. And I really would appreciate everybody who goes onto LinkedIn, connects up with me, or follows me there. If you happen to see some of my content flying by, if you could throw a little thumbs up or a comment or a share, I definitely appreciate it. It helps spread the word about the podcast. And make sure you're checking out my website, b2brevenue.com. You can get my free book on how companies make product selections. It's a real book. It is on Amazon, but I give it away for free. Just register there. It'll email you a link to it, and you can just download the PDF from there. Also, if you want to check out the courses, start the conversation, get the meeting, or closing the complex sale, and you have more questions about it, the short answer is there are video courses. You get access for a year, but it's also a community. What does that mean? You can ask questions anytime via voicemail or email. I answer them within a week, put them into the course. We have office hours every other week. It's an hour long course where you can I pick a topic, answer questions, you can ask questions. Also, you can schedule one-on-ones for free, and we just talk through your particular use case, and that gets shared with the course. So if you don't have time for office hours, or the timing doesn't work, or you just want some more one-on-one help, that's all included for a whole year. So it's really a year to go from where you are to where you want to be. And so it's not just videos. It's not just knowledge. It's practice. It's getting feedback. You can send me emails. You can send me your presentation. I'll help you with anything that you need to close the complex sale or get the meeting. And you can check out them at b2brevenue.com. So that's it. I really appreciate it. And please tell somebody about the podcast and let me know if I can help you in any way. Oh, and you want to hear some results from the course? Well, here you go.
You know, I love the approach. It's working for me just fantastic. If I sent you some of the emails, which I should, the conversations that I'm having with people, I think you'd be blown away, because they're not really about work. Yeah. I've figured out if you can kind of get personal with them, like one lady, it's all about her family, kids. And then I sprinkled in a little bit around work, and she's LinkedIn, sending me messages on LinkedIn, photos of her family. No, I'm not even kidding. I should show this to you. You'd be stunned. I was shocked. And we're going to lunch on September 6th. And yesterday she shot me a LinkedIn message and said, "Hey, Ron, why don't we get on the phone and do a video call beforehand so our lunch isn't so awkward? We're like barely not meeting each other for the first time." Oh, holy cow, right? Like, this is unbelievable. So this is not the first time that this has happened. She's kind of an extreme, but I'm starting to figure out a pattern where I can actually make this a process, you know? So
good. Yeah.
I'll show you that. So it's getting to that point, and every time I do this, I'm like, God, this is unbelievable, you know? So,
and it feels better too, doesn't it?
Oh, Brian, let me tell you something. To be able to go to lunch with her, I'll even talk to her on the phone, right? We're going to talk about family, kids, work-life harmony, because I shared a thing with her from Bezos about work-life harmony. This is where the conversation will start. Now, at some point, we're both not stupid, right? We know we're going to talk about work. We know why we're both there. Right. But to kick it off this way is so much better. And to end that lunch with the last 5 to 8 minutes of telling, well, what are you guys doing with digital